That session was absolutely brutal. I feel like death. Okay, quick recap of Monday morning. So we did the heavy and fast session today, and I'm still sweating from it. It was intense. So I'll quickly go over each of the exercises, explain what the setup was, but oh, I'll be recovering from this for a bit. So yeah, hopefully I can stop sweating and shower soon. But let's get this started. So this one was one of those. Oh no, was it? It it, it was supposed to be every minute on the minute sort of thing, but in a different style. So we had a set of like 12 exercises. We were supposed to go through them 3 times, and basically we had 12 minutes for each of the set of the 12 exercises. For instance, we had to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in that 12 minutes. And whatever time we had left after we finished those exercises in that 12 minutes, we got it as a rest period. So, yeah, push yourself, you have more time to rest. Kind of go into it a bit lazy and lacking energy, and you'll find you have to go straight back into the second set almost on the heels of the first one. So, you know, balance. There's give and take in life, but this is one of those instances. Alrighty, so let's see. 12 exercises, as I've said. 12 exercises in the first one is 2 laps of an obstacle course that was set up. So it was a small one. It had one of those agility ladder things on the ground. So you had to do like high knees, where you just run through it, lift your knees high, or back and forth across it, like they do in, say, soccer or football agility training. So did the ladder. Then there was a step up after that, small little jog outside of the building and back in. Another little bite-sized hurdles about that size. See, again, during soccer training or soccer or football, I'm just going to call it soccer, whatever. Soccer training, you'd see people doing those just to basically have little obstacles in between, just to get some agility and training in between, like skill sessions. So little hurdles in there, and then 2 other steps, and then you went for a second round. That was that set. Move on to a second exercise, and it was a sled pull. So these sleds, I wonder if I can find an example of the sleds quickly. I think I've shown them before, but let's give this a try. Okay, pull this one up. Do I have this set up to share? That's my face. I can see my face. There we go. Cool. So let's say sled. Exercise sled. There we go. Similar to these ones. I think the ones we have at the gym are closer to this style. Let's go to Rogue Fitness. What do they have? Yeah, so this one here. Oh, nope. This one? Nope. You know what? That sled looks good. It looks like it has good runners on it. So let's drill into this one because it's probably the closest style, except the one that we have. It has these poles, but we don't put weights on them. It has a middle pole for the weights. Middle pole for the weights in the middle here. If you can see the cursor. Does it not show my cursor? No, it doesn't. Bloody hell. Look at that. All right, so there we go. So middle pole in the middle on this runner here that we have some weights on. Stack them up real high depending on what the exercise is. These ones, I didn't know that there were 4 weights, to be honest. So it's kind of cool to know. And we have one of those battle ropes. So again, do they have those on this place? Ropes. Here we go. Climbing ropes. These thick ropes. As you can see, they're chunky piece of kit. Those thick ropes, good example over there, we have them tied around the sled, and we use that to do a sled pull. So you stand down the end of the rope, you pull down through to yourself, and then you step up to those the poles on the sled, and then push it back up to where it started at. So that would count as a single rep for the exercise. And again, that was all you had to do for that set, unless you wanted up the game. And they had some stretch objectives as well, if you wanted to. I only did the base ones because brutal session anyway. Exercise 3, 200-meter row. Again, you just try to go flat out, keep the consistency up so that you can finish quickly, get to the next one. Next one was 8 deadlifts. So deadlifts should be a standard exercise. Most people know what those are. I don't even know what weight I was doing. So we have a let's see if I can find the thing that we use for deadlifts where I stand in. I quite like it. Oh no, I'm just having a quick look at some pics now to see if I can find it, but let's see. Here we go. So I found something. These bars here. Will this work? Or is it going to send me? No, cool. So these bars here, kind of cool because you stand in the middle of the bar in here, and you grip there. So the weights are over there. You properly balanced, and you don't have to worry about, you have your grip. Instead of going that way over the bar, you have it that way. So all you're focusing on, because you have a better grip of the bar, is technique and making sure you bend your legs, you kind of tilt your hips and stuff into it, and you're focusing on the weight. So I can get pretty heavy with that one, and I could pump out the sets. So again, fairly high weights for that, whatever the topmost ones that we had for the session, but I wasn't focusing on weights at that stage, to be honest, because I was trying not to die. After that, rugby passes, so weighted medicine balls. Just do if you haven't seen rugby, you can look it up quickly, but they get the ball, they toss it sideways like that, and likewise toss it the other way. So rugby toss, run up to the ball, toss it back, and you do that 8 times. Went from that to a dumbbell bench press. Pretty simple exercise. Went up to about 20 kilos, 22.5. After that, so each of these are 8 reps. Sorry, I should have said that. 8 reps, and then next one was 8 calories on an air bike. So I've showed the air bike before. You can look that up. It's nothing crazy. It's just a bike that you also pump with your arms as well. And that, to be honest, it's a nice break. Like you're pushing yourself hard, but it's got this fan motion that blows into your face as well. Never mind. Anyway, it's actually nice and cooling as you're doing it a little bit, because by that stage I felt like I was radiating heat off me because you're just pushing yourself and smashing it. After that, 8 landmine rows. So I've shown these before, but they are, let's see if I can, let's see if this is, yeah, cool. Let's show this again. So as you can see, they have, this is a setup if you're using a standard Olympic bar. Otherwise, they have these plates that you can see set up as well. So you pop a Olympic bar, one of these ones, into the end of that. You weight up one end of it, as they're doing in these pictures. Bam. And then you bend over it like that, and then pull up with that. And you're just pumping and pulling your shoulder blades back and back down, making sure that you keep that core activated and you're bending over it as per that pic there. So pump out some of those ones. 8 again, and then we went on to the bike ERG. Again, I don't know what ERG stands for. 15 cals on that. Bang over to a kettlebell squats with a press. So how do I demo that? Holding the kettlebell upside down at this stage. You go into a squat while you're holding it to your chest, or if you're really keen, you can bring it down. As you're pushing up, you bring it up, and then you press at the top of that as well. 8 of those. Then we went onto the ski machine. I've actually seen some celebrities using the ski machines now, so they're pretty. I don't know. Are they good? Are they painful? I'm undecided, but they're these ones. So is there a picture of someone using it? Yeah, here we go. So you can see on here, you normally the bands are up here, or this chick here. This is a better one. Nice. So you grab it up the top one, you pull it down, and then you push it past as if you're actually got those ski poles and you're going pushing on like a ski mountain. If you haven't gone skiing yet, look at some pics or some videos of it. Tries to simulate that to a point. It's pretty good. I don't know specifics about what sort of areas it does or what benefits it has, but yeah, it kills you. It's good cardio. Good cardio. After that, we went into 10 strict push-ups. So, low energy today. Can normally bang out 10 pretty easily. The first set of 10 in that first round was tough. I can't explain it. Second round that we went through was able to bang them out easier, but that first round, hard. Anyway, I finished with about 3 minutes left that I could rest in. Needed it. I advise heavily that if you're doing high intensity, make sure you sip at your water and you don't do big gulps of water. I regretted that immensely. I was trying to get down as much water as I can during that break, and then once we banged into it again, for at least the first 3 exercises, felt ill. Felt like I was going to have to get some cardio on to sprint out of the gym, von up somewhere to then can get back into it. Thankfully, kept everything down, kept it going. All's L. Anyway, ended well. Did not vomit. Great. Kept pushing myself. After the second round, had about 2.5 minutes left, so at least I could keep that consistency up with all those exercises. But yeah, that third round, managed to get through it, finish. What a relief. It was painful. I was exhausted, and man, I'm still waiting myself to come down, so I don't know. Can I check heart rate on this thing? Let's see. Heart rate. I don't know what an average heart rate is, to be honest, so I need to probably look into that. It's measuring my BPM, so we'll see in a second. 97. So I think my standard is about 70 something or 60s. I don't know. So 97, it's still up there and still trying to come down. We'll see. My resting heart rate, here we go. 61 beats per minute, normally resting heart rate. So it's still up there. Average walking is 83. This has some good data. All right. And high intensity interval training, my average heart rate is 150. So the range apparently is 105 through to 174. So there's obviously some downtime in between those. And I have it going while I'm stretching and trying to cool down at the end as well. So it's about 5 minutes of stretches and cool down. So whether that's stuffing up the stats, who knows? But if resting heart rate of 60 BPM and I'm up between 105 and 150, hopefully my old body can keep it up. Hopefully, because at least I keep going back, right? So as long as I can keep going back and I don't drop dead at some stage, it all's well. Anyway, quick recap of the session. I'll bring you back again to go overview the Tuesday session, which is strength, and we'll see how that goes. All right, Tuesday strength session coming right in now. So this one was 3 groups. So we rotated through the 3 groups, and basically it was 3 laps of each group. And we had 35 seconds per exercise, 20 seconds to shift to the next exercise. And then we went through the exercises, as I said, 3 times each. So, and then once we rotated through them 3 times each, we went to the next pod or group. It was, yeah, it wasn't the toughest strength session I've done, to be honest, but they threw in some exercises that didn't sit well with my body at the moment. So it's highlighted some areas that I need to work on, which is a positive. I'll take it as a positive. Anyway, so strength session, as I said, first group of pod was an upper body one. So through that, we did the dumbbell curl and then a twist press. So dumbbells up the front, bring it down in the front, bring it up, and then both arms, but my mic's in the way, would then push and turn up into a press on both sides. So like this, and then up, and then back down. So it was a bit of a compound exercise. I quite liked it. I can't go too heavy with the dumbbell curls at the moment, to be honest. So I see people pumping out like 20 kilos and whatever else. Cannot do it. Cannot. 15 was my limit for today, but we'll see. We'll get it there. Next one up was a seated bus driver. So before I joined Lukes Fitness Bootcamp, I had no idea of this exercise. It's basically getting... So I did a 10 kilo weight. 10 kilo was the max that they had out, but I'd be impressed to see other people doing more, to be honest, because it caned. So arms straight out in front of you like a bus driver, like you're driving a car. You have this plated like weight plate in front of you. It was a small one, had sockets in it, so you could at least hold it like a steering wheel. And then you were supposed to turn it around whilst engaging your core and trying to keep yourself steady. You didn't want to be leaning back to try to hold up this weight because that engages the wrong muscles. That was actually tough. That was tough. I went up to 10 just to push myself because I do like to try to push myself to see what the max is I can get, but I had to drop the weight. Well, I didn't drop the weight down, but I had to put the weight down for a moment before I could get it back up and continue the exercise. The next one was cable face pull. So cable machine, set the level or height or whatever up to about there. Have one of those ropes. Grab it, and then you're pulling it back towards your face and then engaging those back muscles or shoulder blade ones behind you. So you're pulling back, engage, and then bring it back slowly, or at least I was bringing it back slowly, just to make sure that the muscles, as I'm releasing, I'm also like putting them through the effort. The theory for me behind that is a slow release. It just helps me add some control and obviously strengthen. I hope it's strengthening the full length of the muscle, but I could be wrong. I'm no scientist. I don't know the science. The next one was a slider tricep push-up. I'm looking at my notes here. The sliders are just these little pads which are flat plastic on the bottom and it has a grippy surface on the top, so you can put your hands, feet, or whatever on it. They shouldn't fall off the pad itself, but the pad will slide along over the ground. So go into a push-up stance with these pads. So you're up here like this. You're on your knees. It's not a full on-toes push-up stance. So knee-based push-up stance, holding it, and then you're pushing one arm out and the other's coming down into a tricep. So this one's not really holding much weight, and this one is doing most of the work. So you're coming down onto that, and then this one's it's not doing much at all, but as you pull it up, you're supposed to push with this to bring it back to the center and reset. Obviously doing both sides of that exercise, and it does really work in your triceps. So it's not a bad exercise, but it can vary quite a bit. So I keep my elbows in the push-up stance. I don't know if other people were sliding it out and like bring your elbow out. I think when your elbow's out, it activates different muscles again. In normal push-ups, I think elbows out is easier, but I don't know. Again, they might target different muscle groups or something. I'll let the gym owners tell me what to do. That's fine. If I do a stupid technique, I'll give them a yell and they'll come over and correct me. Always good, to be honest, when you're doing the right thing and they called out going, perfect technique. So, gets your jollies off a bit. Okay. Notes, screen. Come on, come back up screen. There we go. Too busy talking. Okay, so that was that one pod. So we went through that 3 times, 35 seconds each. I was trying to be consistent and keep to 8 to 10 reps for each of those exercises. And that allows me to try to set a weight to try to beat as well. Rotated onto the second pod or group, and this was lower body based. So first one was pretty simple. It was a kettlebell back lunge. So get the kettlebell, hold it however you do. I had a heavier one, so 2 hands up on the chest, flip the kettlebell up so you could hold it there. And then throw your back leg back, lower your knee, bring it back up, reset, go to the second leg. It was all right. I'm getting used to lunges. I used to despise them, but I don't hate them quite as much as I used to, or maybe quite as much as I should do. The next one was, again, with the kettlebells. I just took the same weight with me. They had a weights bench in front, and essentially you step up on that and you lower yourself down. So you're stepping back, lowering yourself down to the ground slowly. So as quick or slowly as you can. So consider this how do you even demo with fingers? You're dropping this back leg. Oh, that works. Okay. So, twisty. La la la. Okay, so you're dropping this. So that's your back leg. You're bending this leg up and putting that one on the ground, and then bring it back up slowly and weighted. The speed is key to that one, because as you're lowering yourself slowly, it's obviously causing a lot of strain and works you harder. After that, we moved to KB step downs, kettlebell step. No, I already spoke to that one. Oh man, okay. So I completely stuffed up the order of this group when I was doing it. Whoops. Many apologies to everyone that was there. So it was supposed to be the kettlebell back lunge and then dumbbell elevated sumo squats that we went to. So I stuffed up the order, went from kettlebell back lunge to the kettlebell step downs. Made more sense. Anyway, the dumbbell elevated sumo squats was 2 exercise cardio steps. You get into a sumo stance, so that's where instead of hip width apart, you bring your legs further apart and you twist your feet so they're pointing outwards further. Basically, heavy weight between your legs, it drops beneath the steps and you get a deeper squat from it, and then you push up. The sumo squats, I don't know which areas they target, but they feel like they compress my lower back quite a bit. Again, old age sucks. It sucks, but especially when you've been carrying some lower back stuff for a while. But it felt like it was compressing on the lower back a fair bit more than normal squats. So I just had to be aware of that. It's a heavy weight. It's not terrible most of the time, but it just compounded into there for some reason. Next one was glute bridges. So we just had a Olympic or barbell weights. What was the one I was on? I can't remember. Might have been 100 kilos or something like that. So if no one knows, bridges are when you bring your legs up and then it's hard to demo with fingers again. So you're pushing up with your legs and you're bringing your hips up level, and you're just like, how do you even demo? As you're bringing your hips up, you're just rotating your back and upper body. So your back and upper body shouldn't be doing anything but acting like a hinge. And it's your lower body, legs and hips mostly that are doing the lifting, and butt. So you just hip thrust up into it, rotate and hinge your upper body so there's no strain on your back and everything there. And at the top, you clench if you can. I find that clenching and pushing, holding it, helps for me. Might exaggerate the exercise a bit further, but I feel like even if it's just in my head, it gives me some results. Next group. So again, rotated through those exercises 3 times and it wasn't bad, except for that lower back issue I was getting. Group 3 was a core based one. So this wasn't terrible. Hanging knee raises was the first exercise, and I normally pride myself on being able to do fairly okay with this. I never consider myself to have a strong core, but I'm able to hang from bars, lift up my legs so straight and then back down with control instead of just doing the knee raises. So knee raises, not as much effort for me. Just, is it parallel, lateral? I don't know. There's a name for it where you just raise your legs straight out. I think there's a leverage effect, right? So it's harder, and then you make sure that you lock in your core muscles, bring your legs up, control the lift down, and it hurts. It hurts. So yeah, that was the first one. Bang through that. Then they did a bird dog crunch. So I've never seen or heard of this one before, but I'll try to paint a picture. On all fours as you're, what is it? So on your knees and hands, like you're about to go into a push-up stance, or like you're about to go back on your toes for a push-up, right? So you stay on your hands and knees. You lift one arm straight out. I should do a wide scene to do this, but maybe it's not good to do it now. One arm straight out, and then the opposite leg straight out behind you. And then as you bring in that one arm, you're also bringing in the leg in, like, you keep your knee lifted high, and then you bring it in towards your body into like a side crunch, like a dog taking a pee on a tree or something. So you lift your leg like you're taking a pee on a tree. You bring your knee forward, up close against your ribs if you can, and then you straighten it back out as you straighten your arm. So it's balance and core and abs all in one. I struggled to lift my leg that much higher without like twisting my body a bit, but I'll just work on it. So I find it's my inner groin area. Obviously, most men have the issue where they can't do wide stances. I'm also like that, and I just have never really worked in that area too much, so I don't have that much flexibility. Third exercise was, what do they call this? A high boat, low boat. High boat, low boat. That makes more sense. Okay, so sort of makes more sense. The exercise itself, so they have a traffic cone, and I've mentioned before that some of the exercises they do utilize traffic cones just so you have a idea of location and height to do something to work you. So they have a single traffic cone in front of a mat. Essentially, you're leaning back on your arms like this with your legs in front of you in a sitting position. You lift up your legs, you bring them in, rotate, and then straighten them out, and then bring them in, rotate, straighten them out across the cone. And you do that for 8 to 10 sets, or just keep going for that 35 seconds. It gets a bit painful. Mostly for me, maybe because I did the lower body legs first. My quads were burning from doing that, less so than my core. So go figure. The last one was a plank lateral band tap. It's always a mouthful, some of these exercises. So the plank lateral band tap, it's essentially you go into a push-up stance. So arms out straight, on your toes. You can split your legs a little bit so you have a bit more balance and stability. But then you you have this exercise band around your wrists. So when you're in this stance, you're focusing on your core muscles. You activate those, and then you move your arm out and tap, and then bring it back in whilst under full control. So the control is the important bit, because if you're not in control and you haven't activated your core, your whole hips are twisting, your whole body's twisting, and it's not hitting the right areas. So again, just need to slow down, make sure you're activating the right muscles. You're like holding and clenching certain areas properly, and it hits those areas. Just slow everything down, reduce the weight, make sure you get the technique right, because you would hate to be doing it wrong, not hitting and getting the results you want, and or injuring yourself. That was it. So upper body pod 1, lower body pod 2, and pod 3 was core based exercises. Rotated through those 3 sets of each of the exercises in each group, and we were done. So if I don't think, let's check what I got in that session. Hello, exercises. How do I actually check this? Oh, here we go. Wasn't terrible. Like, again, I don't know how to track calories or how much I'm supposed to be using versus how much is good yet. Maybe I'll get there eventually, but total 460 calories. Heart range was like 103 to 173, if that means much. I think I've mentioned it before. My resting heart rate's about 60 to 65 or something. So getting up there, good sustained heart rate, and I'm feeling better for it. So that's the strength session. Tuesday, bam. All right. So that's both sessions for the beginning of this week, 20th of January to the 21st. Good start to the week. Good start. I had one of the dudes at the gym encouraging me to try to get out tomorrow. Not going to happen. Not yet. I'm not ready for it. 4 days. I'm easing myself up. We'll see how I go. If I can get consistency with this and I feel results and I can get over some of those niggling little injuries that I have, maybe I'll explore 5 days. Who knows? We'll see. But it was a good start to the week. The Monday session definitely destroyed me. Tuesday session was good because it felt like it eased me back a little bit after my body was destroyed on Monday. And then the third day I shall rest, hopefully. And then Thursday and Friday we'll be back into it again. So I'll come back at you with Thursday's strength session, Friday's high intensity Tabata session, and then again we'll rest over the weekend and see what's happening in the world. Take care, get out there, give it a go. Again, don't try to keep up with other people. Just try to set yourself up an objective. It helps for me because I'm not that competitive, but I like to compete against myself. So if someone's pushed themselves, it just gives me something to target for. But I definitely encourage people to go out. If you're in Adelaide, if you're up in the Modbury or Golden Grove area, go try out Lukes Fitness Bootcamp. Great community, great classes, and great people. I have not had an issue with anyone there, and everyone's supportive and great. And the traders and the owners just tell you what to do. It's fantastic. Hopefully they don't get bored of doing that, because I'm really enjoying the diversity of exercises and pressure that they put on us. So it's good. And one day maybe I'll get fit enough that I can get out there and do the Spartan and True Grit races. That'd be something. Anyway, as I said, give it a go. Again, building habits takes 20 days, so just try to get some consistency, some rhythm, and repeatable processes going on there, and you should be able to stick with it. But I encourage everyone to get out. It feels good. So again, try it out, be good to yourself, push yourself, and do hard things, and you'll eventually get better. Take care.
Waking up early, gotta lace those shoes tight. Every step's a battle, but I'm ready for the fight. Face in the mirror, seeing shadows of the past. But today I'm stronger, I'm rising up at last. With every heartbeat, I feel the fire ignite. Chasing my dreams, I'm reaching for new heights. My family's here and I can see the pressure.